Hi everyone! In this video we're going to walk through the steps to nurture along your leads and assign your tasks in You've Got Leads. Now I've started with a lead that I've just entered. Her name's Jane Doe, as you can see, and I've put in all the essential information as you're familiar with doing. Now right now she's a hot lead because she just inquired through the contact us form on our website, and so I put in her lead source as woodlandpalmsal.com, and then in my notes I've told us that she inquired through the contact us form on our website. So we have an accurate picture of how she got a hold of us and where she came from. So I've put in all her information, her mailing address, because that was included in the form, and all I know about her mom right now, who she's inquiring for, is her name's Mary Doe. But then I also was able to get a little bit more information after I called her, just to find out kind of what her needs were. So now that I've got her in here, as you can see, I put in a lot of notes. Now really, when you're documenting your conversations and your interactions with your leads, you really want to document the full story. You should have pages and pages of notes here in this section by the time throughout the full life cycle of the lead, because you really want to tell the story. You want your coworkers to be able to pick up and be able to read exactly what's going on with this what's going on with this particular lead, as well as the next step that should be done. So as you can see here, I called right away. As soon as I got the web form, I called because statistics show us that the faster you call, the more likely you are to get a hold of that person. So I was able to get a little bit more information. Jane's getting more concerned because mom is leaving her keys in the fridge or the microwave. She understands it's going to be hard for her mom to move, but she really needs to go someplace that can care for her full time, because Jane has a family and a full-time job, and she really needs to be able to know that mom is taken care of and that she's eating regularly and without her having to be there. And so I put in a little bit more information about nutrition being important and not needing a lot of space, but the fact that if she were to have a roommate, she might get suspicious if she were to misplace something. She might assume that her roommate did it, and we don't want that. So she's assuming that mom's really going to want a private apartment, and her finances are pretty good. She'll be able to pay for at least a few years before potentially needing a Medicaid assistance. And the family can help out some, but not great. And I started to learn a little bit more about what Mary likes. She likes to socialize, and so events and activities that get her out of her room would be perfect for her. So she said she wanted to wait for it to come in for a tour until after they've been to the doctor, because she really feels like the only way she's going to get Mary in to agree to moving someplace is if the doctor instructs her that she really needs to go someplace. So because she's indicated that, let's go over to her tasks. So I've saved her profile. And then I also recorded that I made contact, and it was a phone call about her inquiry. And so because she's a really hot lead and she's going to go to the doctor within the next couple of days, I'm going to add a new task, and I'm going to put it down for Wednesday, but probably no more than 2 days out, because like I said, this is a really hot lead. Now, if for some reason she indicated that she was going to go to the doctor the next day, or if this was someone who had just inquired and they weren't sure of the next steps, I would probably follow up the very next day to ensure that all of their questions had been answered, and or a different person could actually contact her. Like, I may ask Ellen to follow up with this person and say, introduce herself as the administrator, and just make sure that I did a good job in actually reaching out to her. And that's a great way to follow up without being salesy. So actually, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and assign a call to for Ellen to pop up, call her and just check in on inquiry. So Ellen can make sure that I did a good job And I'm going to save that change and talk with her a little bit more and maybe gather a little bit more information about Jane Doe's and Mary's situation. Now, once Ellen follows up with Jane Doe, let's say she calls her, and that's complete, so we're going to save that change. Yep. And the only reason why I'm getting that notification is because I'm saving it for the future, but this is a hypothetical situation. So let's say Ellen talks with her and Ellen talked with Jane and the phone call was great. She was able to find out that they have a doctor appointment scheduled for Wednesday. Great. Call after the doc appointment. And we'll add those notes. So that's great. And then Ellen's going to come in and potentially assign a task for me to come back and call now on Thursday, because after the doctor's appointment, to find out how the doctor visit went. Okay, so I'm just going to leave a little note. You only get so many characters in here, but she's going to leave me a little note to say, you need to find out how the doctor's visit went. So then I come back on Thursday, I bring up my tasks in my task search for what needs to happen. Oh, and I'm going to go forward 7 days to see what tasks have not been completed yet. So now this task pops up and I know, oh, I need to call this person and find out how the doctor's visit went. So I'm going to click on call. Jane's phone number pops up. I call Jane, and I find out through this course of this conversation that the visit went well. So I can say the doctor visit went well, doctor agrees, and is supportive of Mary moving to an assisted living or memory care. Memory, not too bad right now, but understands the need is coming fast. Okay, so I'm going to add those notes as well. All right, so now we understand that. And she agreed to a tour the very next day. So I'm going to mark this task as complete because I've called her and save those changes. Yep, and then I'm going to add a new task for the next day. She's determined she's agreed she's gonna come in on Friday and she's going to take a tour. And so I'm gonna say first time visiting and save that. So then this is gonna pop up on my task list for the next day. And we keep doing this until, we're nurturing her along to a point where we can figure out, at what point are we going to either get her in the community, or maybe her interest wanes just a little bit. Now in this case, it's a pretty hot lead and they need to move pretty quickly. But as you can see, I'm not scheduling tasks for very far out. She's incredibly, while the need is there and while the lead is hot, I'm going to actually follow up with her very, very quickly. And like I said, not to bug her, but for example, like Ellen calling her on 5/3 just the day after I talked to her was simply to make sure that she got the information that she needed, maybe answer any more questions that she may have thought of after we got off our phone call, but just being able to offer a friendly hand, a friendly voice, and also it's good for the administrator to always follow up after inquiries to be able to make sure that the person knows, the inquirer knows who's in charge, who the administrator is, and actually get connected with that lead. Because if they end up moving in their mom or dad into your community, they're going to want to know who's actually leading the helm. And so start that connection right away with the person who's in charge is a really great way to start off on the right foot. So it may have been the administrator that they talked to initially, it may have been a marketing person, it may have actually been a resident assistant or your maintenance guy. Either way, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that they make a good connection, and that's a great reason to follow up quickly and ensure that they're connected with the right people at the community and understand that you're the go-to person. So in the next video, I'm actually going to talk through an inquiry that it's maybe not quite so hot.